Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to share with you how to shift negative energy inside of your body so quickly that it feels like cheating. This is especially for you if you feel really deeply stuck, deep in powerlessness, disdain, stuckness, despair, and especially if you struggle with cycles of these types of things where you feel powerful for a little bit. You get a glimpse of like, wow, things could really be different. I really can change my reality. I really can create a different world in my life. And then something happens, you get a trigger, or you just watch the news, or hell, maybe nothing happens. You just wake up and all of a sudden all of that is gone. Have you ever experienced that where you get these moments of crystal clear, lucid, divine clarity of, oh, I finally get it. Now I know who I am. I'm going to change my life. And the next day it's like you don't even have access at all to that part of your brain. It just feels like that was a dream, right? I know I've experienced that so many times in my life, and it's been so frustrating because you get this moment of clarity and then it's like it just disappears, and all of a sudden you're back in your patterns, you're back in your habits, you're back in all the things that you don't, you just don't feel that part of you, that unlimited, divine, powerful person that you really are. That connection is gone. Why does that happen? Well, it actually has to do with your nervous system, and it has to do with the fact that no one ever taught you how to actually navigate your nervous system and how to tap into your innate transmutative abilities of your body and your heart. I have been working with this for many, many years myself and assisting so many other people through this. And it is just wonderful to see how quickly it can actually work. Guys, it doesn't have to take hours. You don't need years in therapy. You can actually teach your nervous system how to move through these stuck emotional fields, including the darkest, dampest, most deepest fields of depression in your body can be moved in minutes. I have seen this in my own self. I have seen this with the people I work with. And this is something that is very, very under-researched, and a lot of people don't really talk about it because it's just not out there very much. The deep principles of transmutations. Most people, when they talk about creating your reality or changing your reality, it has a lot to do with the mental constructs, making different choices, rearranging your thought patterns, changing your habits, all these types of things. They're great. They're beautiful teachings, and they're things that you need to do. But what I found in my own life is, again, like if you don't have access to that unfathomable power with you, that frequency within you that is true power, true clarity, none of that really matters. You could have all kinds of ideas about changing your reality, but then you wake up one day and you go, I just feel like absolute crap and totally limited. Have you felt that before? I have so many times in my life. And the thing is, that is also a habit in of itself. And it's the main habit we have to change in order to actually shift our reality. So how do we do that? What do you do when you're in the shit, when the darkness just creeps its way into you? When all of a sudden grabbing a gun and pulling it to your head seems like a easier choice than moving through the next 5 minutes of your life. And isn't that interesting how actually these fields can be so convincing that many people actually do take their lives when they're in this darkness? I have the deepest compassion for you if you're feeling suicidal. I have felt it myself in my own life. The way through all that shit, no matter how deep it is you go head first into it. You go head first into it. You feel it fully. This is where so many people, so many spiritual teachers completely miss the mark. Because deep inside, we're terrified of terror itself. We're terrified of the darkness. We're terrified of the boogeyman. Deep inside, you're conditioned. If you go deeply into it, you will stay there forever. And it is 100% not true. The deeper you go in there with full love and full compassion, the quicker it melts. The hardest thing to do when the darkness draws upon you is to actually say yes to it. Everybody will tell you, oh, just change your state. Just change your state. Go for a walk. Drink some water. Get some exercise. These are all great things. I'm all up for that. But it will not move. It will not move the core programs inside of your nervous system, the crystallized emotions that are there. because those parts of you actually need love and compassion. And anything that is built on the program, the idea, even if it's subtle, that you're not allowed to feel this fully, this is wrong in some way, it's wrong for you to feel this. Any idea like that is actually a big fuck you to the part of you that's feeling depressed, that's feeling down, that's feeling hopeless, that's feeling despair, disdain, anger, that's feeling horrible, depressed, suicidal. It's basically a big fuck you to that person, that part of you, saying, you know what, you're wrong, you shouldn't be experiencing this right now, and here, take this pill to feel better. And isn't that how most of society is built? To escape the darkness. And what happens in energy dynamics when you try to escape a certain energy is you amplify that energy. You go to war with it. This is your energy body, okay? This is us, right? And you have an energy field that's constantly emanating outside of you. It can actually be measured, and it's emanating from your heart, from the entire bioelectric being that you are. Inside of that field that you are, there's pockets of crap. There's pockets of depression, pockets of suicidalness, disdain, despair, right? And what these programs are is essentially, they're like holograms, essentially little templates of reality projection, right? And when you experience them, what happens is they alter your perception. It's as if they change everything you perceive about yourself, everything you perceive about the world, and everything you perceive as possible, everything that you perceive about your own memories, past and future projections. It's why you can feel so clear in one moment, but then in the next, when one of these pockets comes into your reality, and you buy into it and you go, okay, this is real, your entire physiology will respond. And it will respond by actually making that real through your body. So you will viscerally feel, if you're in disdain or despair, you will feel like there's absolutely no hope. The key to dissolving these pockets of holographic reality projection is to go deeply into it and to actually embrace it fully, to go yes into it. So you can still go for a walk. You can still do your breath work. You can do whatever, but instead of running away from it, saying, yes, I choose to be this depressed. I choose to be suicidal. I choose to feel the world is shit. I choose to hate those motherfuckers that did this and that to me. I choose to feel so angry. I choose this. I go fully into it and watch what happens. It starts to shift. Sometimes it's really hard to catch it. And this is where I really help people one-on-one when I work with them, because you might have a feeling like, if I do this, I will be poor forever. Like that might be a core fear of whatever feeling you have. Or I might be a terrible father. And the real courage that's required in that moment is to actually go deeper into that. This is what I mean when I say go head first into their torpedo. You go, okay, I choose to be a terrible father. I choose to be really poor. That feels like death to most people, to actually speak out their deepest fear. Usually we're holding on to these energetic pockets, trying to push away from them because we have a deep fear. If we go into it, something will happen. If I really allow myself to feel this fully, I will be unlovable forever. I will fail my mission in life. I sat once with a friend who had this fear. He really wanted to succeed in his mission. I said, try to say, I choose to fail at my mission. He couldn't do it. He walked away from it, and he's still struggling with the same stuff he's struggling in life because he was unwilling to face it. The moment you face it, it just washes over you like an energy field that's just moving. And that might look like a release, like a trembling, a relief, tears coming, deep relief. Usually a heck of a lot of heat moves through people, and usually they feel a lot of sensations in the back of their skull and their head, because this is actually where a lot of the crystallized emotional sets and patterns are dormant in the back of the skull, which is very interesting, in the back of the brain, which is also where the part of your brain that's responsible for vision, what you see, and your perception. So it's very interesting that a lot of these programs seem to be located in the back of your head, which are linked to how you perceive reality. The moment you shift this mindset and you go deeply within to the negative energies, the moment you just begin to breathe, and we'll talk about breath in a moment, you start to shift into this version of yourself. What happens is, one by one, these pockets will start to move. The moment you begin to illuminate them with your awareness, with your presence, they simply dissolve, because that is just how this works. The moment the light, which you are, the power, which you are, illuminates the darkness dissolves. Say that with me one more time. The moment you illuminate the darkness dissolves. When the lie is seen, it dissolves. But the way to see the lie is not to go, oh, I see the lie. It's not true. I'm really the powerful one. Oh, that's the negative belief. That's the negative feeling that I'm not. No, you are that also, because you created it. You created it with your consciousness, and now it's time to fully embrace it, fully become it, and let it go. And the way you do this is through the breath. And I'm not talking about any specific breath work or modality, or you need to count this number of breaths or whatever. Just breathe. Just be in it and just breathe. This is the hardest thing to do. It's the simplest thing, but it's so challenging in the beginning to just be in the shit and just breathe. Wow, I am so in the shit and I'm okay with it. I choose to be in the shit and I'm breathing. And just breathe. Whether you're walking or sitting still, just be with it. Sometimes just one breath into the shit, as I always say, will move mountains of stuff, lifetimes of stuff, more than you could possibly imagine will get moved in that breath. And it sounds simple. It is, again, the thing that most people will never do. Most of us are so busy running ideas and programs to try to run away from all that suppressed darkness that the last thing we'll do is just take a conscious breath with it. Not trying to change it, not trying to feel better, not trying to rise above it, not try to find the source of it and try to fix it and find the limiting belief and replace it with a good one and all this stuff. All that is just mental masturbation. Just to be with it. Oh, that's scary. And that's where you unpower the limitation and actually find your power. That's when the power starts to actually come back. You know, one time I was in a particular pocket, and we'll talk about this in a moment. There's pockets of these things of feeling really powerless. And I've been sitting with it for like days going, okay, I just need to freaking experience this because I'm doing this thing where I don't want to feel it. I had to sat in meditation and I went deep into this pocket of powerlessness, which was right in my belly. And I felt it. And it was just this, at first it was just this like, oh, I don't want to feel this. It feels like everything I don't want to be. I don't want to feel like sludge. I don't want to feel small and ugly and insignificant. But I just felt it. I'm like, okay. I was just there breathing through it. And very quickly, within moments, within a couple of minutes, it started to rise. And this is what happens, guys. Most of the stuff that's really dark, or wherever it is in your body, you'll feel it somewhere in your body usually, or sometimes outside. But usually it has a tendency to go up, okay? It will start to be in the bottom part of your body, and it'll start to move up as you transmute it with your breath, and eventually reaching your head, expelling itself as tears sometimes. But in this case, it started to rise up into my heart. And as soon as it started to rise up into my heart, it wasn't feeling powerless anymore. It felt like anger. So I stayed with it. I was like, okay, I'm still with this transmutation process. I'm feeling really angry. And before long, even sometimes calling it something is a way to escape it. Like, what if you don't call it anger? What if you don't call it suicidal? What if it's just whatever you're experiencing somatically, viscerally, it has no name? Then you're just in it. You're just in the colors and the sensations of it all, and you're just breathing. And it's scary. Most of us are taught to not feel that deeply, but you have to if you want to reclaim your power. So I was just in this process, breathing, and before long, I turned into this like pit bull. I had this image of this dog snarling at the mouth, go rah, just clenching my teeth and feeling it so deep. It was moving into my skull. And before long, it was like in my head now, just pulsing in my crown chakra as pure peace. And I allowed myself to go that deep with it. I had moments during that process where I saw my sister, she was recounting a similar experience of reclaiming her power in a journey once. It looked similar. Sometimes you just have to viscerally experience these animalistic urges, these animalistic sensations without externalizing them to actually reclaim those energies back into your body. That's what transmutation actually looks like when you're deeply in it. When you allow yourself to feel the darkness, it will come up. It won't just sometimes pop into like, oh, you're amazing now. Sometimes it has stages as those emotions shift and rise and go higher and higher up the scale. The reason why this happens, every single one of these pockets of dark energy, it is a pocket, right? You still have these parts of you that are like more light and more free, right? And you're experiencing, but then you pop into one of these pockets and you might transmute one of them and do some breathing and all of a sudden feel relief. And then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, or maybe a day later, you're feeling that again. And guys, you're not going back if that happens. It's just your body, your soul's recognizing, wow, you've learned how to actually process, or you're learning how to transmute. Let's give you more stuff to feel. And it will go deeper and deeper. There does come a moment where there's so little of this stuff left in your body where you're feeling amazing and clear most of the time. And that's usually where the higher tests come in, because the deepest layer of the shit is sometimes the hardest to really deeply feel. But that's the work that you signed up for by coming into this planet. So transmutation is the process of what we just described, is feeling the shit and turning it into gold. Every single one of these pockets, when it first enters your field, it will feel undeniably real. Undeniably real. Like, wow, it really is hopeless. It really is full of fear. The world's going to shit in a handbasket. My leg's going to hell. I really am awful. I really am not enough, right? Maybe you've already come to know this as your reality, but it's not. It is not real. You can choose to feel it and not believe it and just breathe into it. And the moment you do, you start to unlock the transmutative power of your body, which looks sometimes like what I just described with that pit bull experience, okay? You'll start to feel the energies rise through your body. It'll start to shift. Sometimes it will get worse before it feels better. Sometimes moving is really good. This is where you can go for a walk or do your exercise or do whatever modality you have. But now you've actually activated the transmutative power. Transmutation starts when you say yes fully into it, without judging it, just being with it, fully embodying it. But what happens then is it starts to change form. Instead of being locked in your belly or as a depression, all of a sudden it starts to feel a bit lighter, maybe less depressed and just more slightly apathetic. As you go fully into this apathy, then you start to feel more neutral. As you go fully into neutral, you start to feel hopeful. As you start to feel hopeful, you start to feel actually more grounded. As you feel more grounded, you start to feel courage. As you start to feel courage, you start to feel love. As you start to feel love, you start to feel oneness, and you start to feel unlimited. But it's not a linear process. There's parts of you in that energy field which all have to go on that ride, right? We live as very fractured beings on this planet. There's parts of us that are just completely fractured and shattered inside of our own beings, sometimes for lifetimes, for generations. We've inherited fractured parts of ourselves, and they're all calling for you to come back to yourself, to learn how to do this, and to guide them home to your heart, to your love, through your compassion. The more you do that, the more you find all these parts of you just coming back from this fractured being that we are into a more whole, I have the bad drawing here, which we draw, but the more whole, radiant being that you are. Yeah, let me actually draw this. There we go. You come back into this really whole radiant being that you are. And that being is powerful. That being is limitless. That being, just with your presence and your frequency alone, can shift other people and give them permission to shine your light as well. And most importantly, that being is rooted in the power and the authority being within you. And as you walk in that way where your power and your authority is within you, well, other people actually see you as an authority. Other people will actually be drawn to your assistance, not your power over them, but your true power, the power that is holy, the power that loves, the power that unifies, the power that creates, the power that actually creates a new world. And you won't have to say anything. It will just radiate through you. Life moves very differently from there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you want to work with me one-on-one or in my upcoming group training, which I'm starting very soon, all about this, then check out the link down below. If you're resonating with this work and you want some assistance to move through these energetic pockets quickly, if you've been struggling in your life and you know you're really deeply powerful and you're longing to reconnect with that and you want assistance to move quicker into that, this training is for you guys. It's going to be tons of fun. We're going to be doing it together. And when we do it together, our nervous systems actually connect and all our shit moves very quickly. So if that's calling you, then check out the link below and I'll see you in the next one.